It's together, coming together as as one piece of information for everyone. While the way we see things are progressing with focus on being digital, now we are no longer talking about different systems. We talk about harmonized experience for the users across the landscape. While we talk about cutting edge technologies coming into play, interleaved with your common, your enterprise applications. They don't distinguish themselves as separate applications, but they are embedded within each of your applications. So, in the context, the way our business transformation is happening, integration becomes an integral part of how you can enable the data, how you can enable the content across, and also bring in the business context. So now when we get into the drivers of integration, right? So what does drive the integration? One is the digitization, and a lot of the emphasis on being on cloud security. So we need agility in the business, so customers should be able to adapt pretty quickly, and then which means that your connected systems have to work seamlessly very well with each other, and you can't now work in silos, right? So now the transformation now is to probably completely into cloud or a hybrid kind of model. How your landscape will get structured, so now interaction between all these systems becomes very critical. While we are talking about integration also from a cost of maintenance standpoint, because if you have to read data from different system and different buckets is not simpler, right? So we are talking about harmonizing the landscape, seamless data flow, and the business context. So in that context, the solution from SAP, what it offers as integration suite, we'll touch base on different capabilities going forward, but those are key drivers for your integration. While I understand why integration is required, and most of the customers would have embarked the journey to start probably with XI, PIPO, or you could be on any third party, my integration system that's available, right? While what are the key drivers that we see more from a SAP landscape standpoint per se, and we are talking about where to migrate to is integration suite. So one reason for a lot of customers who are on-prem is the support ending for their PIPO versions. By 2030, the extended support ends, but while 2027, it's basically officially closed down for PO. While the whole ecosystem today is transforming very fastly into cloud-based systems, and then how do we establish the integration between cloud to cloud to ground, the way the whole landscape is structuring? Then the whole volume-based licensing now is encouraged. And what happens with the customer today is you don't have to set up a server, trouble-free maintenance, while your lower maintenance costs improves your processing capability as well, while it gives you the bandwidth to expand further into your innovations. While compared to certain third parties that we have worked with, integration suite comes as cost friendly option as well. While it boasts about enhancing monitoring capabilities, and then with the API business hub, we are talking about fast tracking the integration, uh, the way we move to low code no code in other parts of development and innovation. Integration is targeted to probably start using more of a pre-deployed content that's available, while not to be building from scratch. So those are certain key drivers for migration. uh, but if I were to migrate from one middleware system to what should be my choice of migration, so we are focusing on trying to bring in the emphasis on integration suite. Why integration suite, right? So one, it's a cloud based. Okay. Second, from being cloud native, it is scalable, it is very agile, and it's multi cloud. So you could have it on any cloud. Like I described earlier, end of life for PIPO kind of integration tools. While it allows you to safeguard the investment that you have made by the support that you're getting for migration and getting on board the integration suite, it also accelerates your journey on BTP from two aspects as well. Like if you're a RISE customer, it has its benefits, While otherwise, if you're somebody moving on to S4 or looking from a cloud first as a strategy, integration suite helps you to accelerate your the whole innovation life cycle and harmonize the data. Faster time to value is a key criteria that they speak of. While how do we do that is the predefined content that's available as part of your API business hub, and the improved adapter sets that are available for your A2A and B2B integrations. And then unlike your earlier releases, your integration suite comes with open connectors across multiple systems and constantly evolving and adding more open connectors, which means uh, integration suite, when made as an investment, you can connect to any system, cloud, on-prem, or any third-party system, which means it's open and pretty scalable. Now, briefly, let's touch upon what integration suite has to offer. Right, so it's a completely cloud-based solution, allows you to integrate, cloud and uh, on-prem applications. So basically, it can help you set up a hybrid kind of landscape. It's completely cloud technology with a stronger focus on security. That way, one, from user authorizations to definitions. Other than that, the encryption that is available enables you to have more secure transactions that you can do. While integration suite comes with key capabilities as well, like integration advisor, which basically helps you to crowdsource the capability, advise and manage your interfaces more better. And pre-packaged content is the core of integration suites offering, because it makes all your extensions and your enablement into integrations into S4 journey is more or less out of the box. There are a lot of key features that S4 is offering that operates very well with integration suite only. So in that context, having a pre-packaged content that can jumpstart your innovation journey and makes integration more like an out of the box play is a strong suit of integration suite, very specifically for S4 customers, right? And in the ecosystem, like I said, since being open, having open connectors, its ability to connect to all the business networks and partners is seamless. That way, integration suite is positioned as a key pillar for your transformation journey and landscape optimization. What are the different services that we offer as part of integration suite, right? So we have cloud integration, that basically is a component. To anybody of you who's already aware of CPI, is a cloud integration component, allows you to do A to A, B2B, and B2G interfaces, build, deployed, and connect. While connectivity, API management, transport management are auxiliary to your cloud integration to enhance the whole experience for integration suite. So anything that you build could be API enabled using API management and published, so that you could use it across the landscape, while you could also use them to monetize your services. While connectivity gives you the capability to connect to different systems, your transport management takes care of setting up your transports to different landscapes the way you have structured across the system in your landscape. While it makes you no longer have to say, I have to export, take a manual file, do a deploy, while you can trigger deployments, which means your change management is pretty controlled and audited. While your open connectors gives you flexibility across the board. So they have connectors for most of the popularly used systems, from Dropbox to Workday and all other systems. But it also allows you, the framework allows you to extend your open connectors to be able to fit for your custom needs. While event mesh, something that I have not called out here, is an advanced event mesh offering from a partner, Solace, uh, enables you to look at integration not just between applications, but also have event streaming that you can do and integrate your events that are coming in seamlessly across the landscape. While alert notification is a great addition to this, where you don't have to set up your thresholds on monitorings, while you can subscribe to the alerts at different levels, so that you're always informed and stay on top of things, right? You don't have to now build specific interfaces. to say I need to trigger my email notification in case of an escalation or an error. All of these could now just become configurations across the board in integration suite. Now, coming to what the migration paths look like, and this is more a generic representation, and certain indicators are to indicate a third party, middleware systems. While the key is you may have your PIPO on prem, or you could have a third party which is on prem middleware system, or you could be on a cloud already, whether SAP or non SAP. And we have seen a lot of customers where they also have restrictions to say we don't want to move away from on prem because a lot of their legacy systems are connected that way, right? While what is the migration path that's offered, uh, is from all of these systems you can migrate to integration suite. Okay, so your integration suite basically is a cloud offering. So which would mean anything and everything that we do can be managed from cloud once you do the migration. Okay, so these are different paths of migration that I've called out. The names could be different, but fundamentally these are the paths. Now we'll try to get into detail as to what do we do in each of these cases, right? So we may have customers who are probably on PIPO. What are the recommendations that we do, right? So the the core recommendation that we give for most of the customers, one from a timeline and a cost perspective, is to move to integration suite directly from whichever system they are today. The recommendation is move to integration suite. While let's say if there are customers who are on PI 7.3, probably never did an upgrade for whatever reasons, in order to safeguard their investments, the recommendation would be to upgrade to 7.5 to start with. So what 7.5 offers you is it still runs on-prem, but it gives you design time flexibility to start building your future interfaces to work with your cloud integration and integration suite kind of setups. So that way you're future proofing your integration flows that you're building while you're still trying to run and get more time until 2027 to run your interfaces. While the recommendation is if you would be to probably upgrade to 7.5, start managing your interfaces, and then build all your new integrations with integration suite, and then in a phased approach start moving your PIPO interfaces to integration suite. Now, there are tools that are available, but fundamentally, since the whole structure is ICO to an iFlow kind of change that has to happen, you will probably end up investing time to rebuild them to a certain extent. While there is a good scope of optimization that can be done in each of these scenarios because of the advanced technology and the adapter enhancements that are available in integration suite. While we say that, there are tools that are available for you to copy the template or build the skeleton into workflow that surely helps. But I think the insight that the customer needs to have is that there will be your mappings and everything that needs to be redone from PIPO standpoint. While your second scenario could be that you're already on Neo and you want to migrate to integration suite. In these scenarios, you could use the tools to export your iFlows the way they are into integration suite, while you will still have some part of manual work to probably reconfigure your endpoints and your security definitions again on your integration suite on Cloud Foundry. uh, One recommendation here in most cases is that we have both the tenants running. You move your integration scenarios and artifacts to integration suite, while you keep the existing tenant to keep running them, while you can start moving things in a phased manner. At a point when all your interfaces are moved, you could decommission your existing neo tenants and then enable your integration suite tenants. So that way you could have a transition that's happening with almost zero downtime in case of moving from CPI to integration suite. While I am not talking specifically about a third party because I want to show you an example of a use case that we have done. Uh, the reference to your a third party non SAP middleware tool to integration suite would reckon. Hey, I think we are back live again. Sorry for the technical error. Uh, for participants who are still on the line, I'm sharing my screen. You should be able to see. I'll probably skip to the part on how the landscape will transform. When we talk about integration suite, so this is more from an assessment standpoint, what an assessment would look like. It'll give you the t-shirt sizes of your complexity levels and then recommendations. And let's say there are certain adapters or challenges that we are facing, replacements are recommended and improvements are recommended. Uh, that's how your assessment would come off of migration factory. While we migrate, I think there are few things that the customers are interested to understand. Is there's something called edge integration cell. How would it manage? So this is what your next generation hybrid integration runtime would look like. You will have your SAP and non-SAP cloud applications that are integrated using integration suite, uh, while your on-premise is still connected to integration suite from a design and deployment perspective. While the for customers who don't want the data exchange to happen over the cloud, uh, can run a ground to ground kind of integration using edge integration cell. So that way what will happen is you're still in an integration suite with an extension to your on-prem, where you can deploy your interfaces, while these interfaces at runtime will not get onto the cloud, but they use the infrastructure and of the edge integration cell that's deployed, and they would operate within your as a ground to ground integration, more from a cloud extension standpoint. So that way, customers who cannot have their data on the cloud during a data exchange while still have to be on integration suite, this is how it can be leveraged, and you can move forward. Okay, so other than that, quick 1 minute on the use case. This is a customer use case that we did at one of oil drilling company. Uh, what you see there is their landscape of different systems, but they were initially on MuleSoft, and we did migrate them from MuleSoft to CPI and then eventually to Cloud Foundry. The idea was that the pricing wise, MuleSoft was coming up costlier for them, and they wanted to rationalize their landscape for a simpler management and maintenance perspective as well, with multiple SAP systems. While you also see that there are good share of non-SAP systems available in the landscape. Okay, so what we did as part of this migration was to first understand what were there. Then we carved out a plan of a phased migration, while because of the technology betterments that are available, we were able to reduce the number of interfaces from 384 to around 298, which means the way it was built in MuleSoft required to have two different interfaces, just one for acknowledgement, while we could build so many such handshakes as part of one interface itself in Cloud Foundry integration suite. While the API management also came into play, around 254 APIs were rationalized to 150. So that way, threefold benefits that the customer got was one on the cost perspective. Now they have a harmonized landscape and lesser interfaces and APIs to maintain. While in conjunction to that, the monitoring capabilities available in Cloud Platform, the integration suite, help them reduce their service incidents that were coming in, And the APIs that are provided with the integration suite, we were also able to build a custom dashboard for them where we could bring on board business to be able to do certain retries or reprocess the files as a business self-service cockpit. So the infrastructure now, from a middleware standpoint, having two or three different middlewares, they had MuleSoft, Delbumi, and PIPO are now all consolidated into integration suite. Okay. A similar example for a logistics company was the complexity of the landscape and different systems that they're doing. We were able to migrate all the interfaces from Neo CPI to Cloud Foundry. Not just on the integration perspective, we were also able to migrate the entire platform from Neo to Cloud Foundry as part of these use cases. So two things, the takeaway is that any migration will involve a lot of testing, and then I think it becomes wiser to understand your test scenarios, carve them out beforehand, and then run them in parallel. As long the moment you have an interface ready, kind of makes the whole life cycle more productive and fruitful from the whole migration perspective. So this is our integration strategy and roadmap. What we do is we do the analysis. We are part of SAP's migration factory as well. We do the technological assessment, understand your patterns, and then based on your organization fitment, we enable the skills for your organization as well during the migration. Then we set up standards and we define your roles and responsibilities from a deliverable standpoint, have the cataloging done, and implement the best practices. And the whole process is aligned with what SAP recommends as ISAM for your migration. Uh, that's the end of the session. Maybe we can take some questions now. I just wanted to reiterate, we are at Sapphire. Uh, Come and meet us at room 2200. Okay. Let's quickly jump to questions if anybody had. If you can still hear me, yes, you will get access to the recording of this particular session. Uh, uh, I see there are no questions. Maybe we'll give it a
Yes.
minute. Anyone has questions, feel free to type them in and we can get them through here. I had one question. I think that was from Ritvik.
Yes. That was answered already. So,
I answered that. Just for everyone, how does mobile scenarios play out? Mobile scenarios are nothing different. What happens is mobile just becomes as an endpoint for you, as an application to consume, as long as your interfaces are managed. Okay, Ruchira, I think
I think
I
that
don't.
is it. There are no more questions. Sorry for the technical glitch. I think there is another question. How data security is taken care? Is it is
Okay, so
yeah.
from a data security standpoint, it allows you to have encryption on the data. You can set up, typically what you have, your user ID password is one way of doing it, while all your interfaces, can be encrypted, and it uses SAML 2.0 from a security standpoint. So I think you should be good enough from there on a security standpoint. So you can choose to encrypt the payload that's going as well in integration suite.
Yes,
Okay.
I think we
We
have
are
passed our time. So yeah. Again, I have to apologize for this technical glitch. So, thank you for attending the webinar. For any questions, please contact us at marketing@inkture.com or visit our website inkture.com to request for a demo. Also, before we take off, I would like to mention that Inkture team would be at SAP Sapphire in Orlando. Please head to our registration page to book meetings.